Good morning, folks, and welcome back to Three's Inn. The other night when I was talking to Jerry, he happened to mention how much he enjoyed flying with this fella named Al. Al was another senior captain in the other section, and as such, I really didn't know him very well other than to say hi to him in a hallway on occasion, and then I'd see him occasionally at the soft desk, the supervisor of flying desk. The things I do remember about Al is he had an uncanny look about him in that he reminded me of Henry Winkler from Happy Days as the Fonz. You could see Al at any given time walking around the squadron with the collar of his flight suit turned up, and his hair was kind of reminiscent of the Fonz. He also could always be seen carrying a cigarette. I don't know if I ever saw him smoking it, but he would carry it kind of lackadaisical-like. That's what I remember about Al. Now, for the background on the story, every year we had to take two flying evaluations, a proficiency flying evaluation and a instrument evaluation. With each evaluation, we had to take a test. The proficiency test was closed book, and the instrument exam was open book. Not a big deal overall. In the squadrons, or throughout the squadrons, I suppose, you could find the ponies to the exams, the answer sheets, the crib sheets. They had them, I suppose, everywhere. I never had a need for them. I just went in and took the silly test and be done with it. But they were used, and they were available. So, that being said, we go into our briefing one morning for the annual instrument refresher course. It started about 8 o'clock in the base theater. So we all are sitting in there, and they give us our briefing for about an hour, telling us things, new procedures with respect to instruments and so forth. And then they hand us our stacks of books about so big, and our grade sheets, and we all sit down and begin to take the test. The tests themselves would take anywhere from an hour and a half to maybe an hour 45. The idea was they wanted you sorting through the books just to stay familiar with where you could find things. And I always found that as a great opportunity for the purpose it was designed for, to give me a refresher. I didn't see it as a big deal. So this one morning, we just started taking the test when I see Al walking down with his grade sheet in hand to the front of the room where the academic guys were. One of the academic guys takes Al's test, reaches in the briefcase, and pulls out this bubble sheet that overlays the answer sheet. On top of it, it said annual instrument exam. So he overlays this thing, and he starts looking at it. He looks up at Al. He shifts it around again. But now he's getting Al's attention because nothing's lining up very well. So the academic guy sets the instrument grade sheet aside, reaches in, grabs another bubble sheet that says annual proficiency exam. Now he overlays it. Everything lines up perfectly. And Al's just standing there mesmerized. So the academic instructor says, "Hey, Al," he says, "it looks like you grabbed the wrong pony." To which, I don't know what hit the floor first, Al's jaw or the cigarette. But it did hit the floor. He just stood there looking at him, rather perplexed. I don't think anything ever came of it. I think they made their point, and that was it. Although I had heard over my career, some guys had really gotten hammered for getting caught using the ponies on the exams. That being as it is, there was another guy standing right behind Al, 15 minutes after the test started. That would be Pat Rooney. Pat was a young first assignment IP, and so he was standing there next to Al. And once they made their point with Al, they looked at Pat and they said, "Do you have a question, Pat? He says, oh, no. He says, I thought I did, but he says, I think I just answered it. He turned around, went back, sat down for the next hour. We're just waiting for time to pass to take his exam down to the front. So that's the story I have on Al. Hope you enjoyed it.